Fact to fact here with a video about how ants become queens. Some people know that ants are normally a part of a massive colony and that there is a queen who lays the entire colony's population. But how are the queens made and why aren't there any king ants? Now, certain ants don't follow these rules one-to-one, however most ants do. And this video serves much more as an introduction to queen ants than a be-all and end-all video on the topic. Queen ants start their lives as alates, which are also known as winged ants, which some of you may have spotted outdoors. Male ants are 100% of the time alates. Alates don't do anything to help out the colony, they merely wander around being fed. The number one requirement for a colony to spawn their first alates is numbers. A colony needs a large, strong force before the queen will consider laying large eggs that spawn alates. The second is the right time and conditions. This is different for every species of ant, with some alates not leaving for months. Typically, during the hotter months, something known as a nuptial flight occurs. Each large colony releases hundreds of alates who use their wings for the first and the last time. These ants then breed with alates from other colonies. The females will breed with multiple males typically. Nuptial flights tend to occur after rain, and you can tell if a flight will happen soon, as the alates will gather by the exits of their colonies for the days preceding. During the flight, birds and insects like spiders get a lot of food by eating the ants. If too many ants are eaten, the ants can ferment into alcohol in birds' stomachs, making them drunk. As a sign of this, they tear their wings off, leaving 2 patches of muscles that were used to control the wings. When they land, they become very photophobic, which is the fear of light, and start to dig as fast as possible. Their goal is to make a small den where they can lay their first eggs. The queen doesn't eat during this time period, instead she busies herself by licking her eggs with antifungal and antibacterial saliva to keep them healthy. Once the eggs start to turn to larvae, they need food, of which the queen provides. This food comes from herself as she dissolves her muscle stores that are no longer needed, feeding it to the larva. The larva then goes through the stages of development and turn into full-grown ants. These ants are known as nanitics and care for the queen and the other brood. After a sufficient number of nanitics are created, they leave the nest and start to get food and feed the queen for the first time in months. From here the colony grows much faster as the nanitics get replaced with worker ants that aren't as weak as their preceders, having been fed a full diet. From here the ants start to develop tunnels and chambers. The ants even allocate an area for garbage and a graveyard for their fallen comrades. With the colony now established, it will not stop growing until the queen dies, upon which the colony would suffer a slow death. If a queen encounters another queen when searching for a den, this can lead to 3 outcomes. The first is that they join together and forge a mighty ant empire in half the time as others. The second is that they will kill each other, as even a member of the same genus are considered enemies the vast majority of times. The third outcome is the most interesting, as they will join forces. But this differs from the first outcome, as it's a matter of time before they turn on one another. This is settled either by execution from the opposing queen or the worker ants deciding for themselves which queen is preferred. This is not like a fight, it is a matter of which queen strikes first. Normally there are 2 or sometimes 3 queens in these bands, although rarely 10 or more queen ants working together have been documented. The majority of queen ants work alone, however there are a few select ants that merge colonies when encountering each other, such as yellow crazy ants or Argentine ants, which deserves a video of its own. Next we will discuss how one can tell a queen ant apart from standard ants. The first distinction is that queen ants are usually larger by a lot. This is not the be-all and end-all, however, as many colonies have super majors that can sometimes be as large as queens. The second distinction is the abdomen. Queens are much larger but also more rounded. This is where all the eggs are produced and functions almost like a baby-making factory, with queens being able to lay several hundred a day. Another difference being that queen ants have wing scars that remain in place of where their wings once were, and some never lose these wings. Another distinction to be made is that queen ants will also often have 5 eyes, 2 placed normally and 3 in a triangle shape on their head, which is mainly used for easier control in flight. Now that's all I have on queen ants for today. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below if you think we missed anything or would like to see a topic in our next video. Thanks for watching. Take care.